Okay, well, I'm recording this story for you. It's actually from my friend Ty, who's having a, a little thing, and I tried to tell a story shorter, and it was double the time that was needed. So I'm going to try to tell you a story in under 7 minutes. We'll see how I do. And that story is about, well, I'll tell you the moral of that story. The moral of the story in advance is that what you think is the good, sometimes what you think is the best of the good can still get good, get better. But you got to pay attention. You got to hear. You got to be available. So, my friend Janet Ann and I, we have been friends for 40 years. The minute we both remember the minute we became friends, and we became friends on our first day of beauty school. I looked over and there was Janet Ann, and I just knew we were going to be friends. And so it's been 40 years. And we are friends. And I mean to fall in love in a friend way. We were friends and with each other. And Janet Ann can read my mind and I can read hers. So sometimes I just think about Janet Ann and she thinks about me. And we just know what each other's thinking. So sometimes I don't need to call her. But if I do need to call her and I'm very busy, I'll just send her a message with my mind. And we have had many adventures. But one of the things that happens is this lesson. And we talk about it every year because once a year we have the same date. So just like you kind of go to the state fair or you go to 4th of July, there's always a summer date that you just have to do. And ours is a crunch cone date. Now, a crunch cone, for those of you who may not know this, there is a store called Dairy Queen. And we got a life lesson that has perplexed us and amazed us. And every time we eat a crunch cone now, we think about that life lesson. And the life lesson, now, crunch cone, let me go back. A crunch cone is an ice cream cone. It's soft serve like that, and you dip it in this crunchy stuff. And this crunchy stuff has little sprinkles in it and little crunchy things, and it just is great because it's like having three desserts at one time. Because the outside, it's all crunchy. It's got all these little bits in there, and it's just excitement. It's just excitement, and every time it's good. And then you get through that, and then it's the silky middle. It's all the ice cream that just, it's silky. And then you get to the bottom of this cone. And the bottom of that cone, what? It's crunchy again. So you get three desserts in one thing. And it doesn't have that many calories in it. You can eat one all the time. So we get a crunch cone every summer together. So she calls me up and she says, why don't you get in that little buggy? Because I have a convertible. And she says, I know a Dairy Queen that we need to go to. And they're open till 8 p.m. So we're going to go on a summer night. Bring your buggy. Come get me. So we drive up, and lo and behold, here's the lesson. There's a girl in front of us. And that girl in front of us sure as heck orders a crunch cone. And then she says, and I would like extra crunch. And that woman drops down a cup of all the crunchy stuff on the outside. And Janet and I went, oh, my Lanta, my Lanta. I had never even thought, I had never even considered to ask for extra. So here comes this little cup and her crunch cone full of crunch. So she gets a crunch cone of all the crunch and the extra stuff. So she can just eat off some of the crunch cone, dip it down, and re-crunch her cone. But as we have found out, we immediately went up. It is 50 cents extra. Well, we have $1 for that much joy. We have that dollar. So we we order extra crunch. And I said, it's not on the menu. What is that available, or did she just know something? She goes, well, it's just one of those things. If you ask for it, we'll give you. But no, we don't advertise that one bit. Oh my. So we go through and we eat our crunch cone, And then we get to the silky middle, we get to the end, and there's still more sparkles. There's still more crunch. And then you can pour it into the end of your cone and have like extra crunch ending. So, what is the moral of this story? The moral of this story is we thought we were at the top. We thought we'd had the top of the crunch cone. And we have considered this very much because sometimes when you get to the top, you think it's the top because that's only what y'all know as the top. Sometimes there's the tippy top to the top, and you got to pay attention. You got to keep your ears open. You got to be open because sometimes the best gets bester. So that's it. And now we have talked about sharing this idea with people for the crunch cone, and we have decided, Janet, Ann, and I, we have decided that we love the crunch cone so much we don't want to go away. So we're going to tell you about it, and we would like to eat crunch cones for another 30 years. So if you go to this store, it's called Dairy Queen, and order yourself a crunch cone, you can get an extra cup of 50 cents of extra crunch. And you can experience this. And well, we're hoping that it just keeps the crunch cone love keep going. Because if people keep ordering it, we'll get to eat it for another 30 years. So that's my life. Thank you for sharing my story. I hope that you go and get a crunch cone. But again, the moral of the story is go have some ice cream, have a wonderful time, and really think about if it's the best, can it get bester? Have a great day.